Okay, in this video, we're going to be talking about the RobotWare system upgrade. We're going to go from 6.09.11 something to the current one, which is 6.0 to 11 or something like that. We'll see it. So first thing, we're going to open up Robot Studio. And we go to our controller. First thing you want to do is backup. Uh, but before that, you gotta request write access on your pendant. Just click grant. Now you can create a backup and just name it backup. Alright, this is gonna go to the desktop. So just double check we got it. Let's see that. Yep, that's the backup right there. We're gonna check the SIO image. Now, what in the world is doing this? Okay, just have to close this one up and open them again. So we're checking the SIO image to see what we have, and that's what we have. We do have this part that we need to have, and it usually, for some reason, goes away once we do the update. So we're gonna have to put that back in there later on. All right, let's. Okay, so now one thing I want you to I want to show you is this on the right side is a backup that I did through the flex pendant, and on this backup we do have the portion that we need for the cameras to function. This portion over here. When you do a backup from the computer, just the computer, that section disappears. So we only have the Ethernet port, this here, and or come up disappears for some reason. Now I've been seeing that phenomenon on and off, on and off on the other robots. Sometimes when you create the backup, this portion is there like this, and sometimes it doesn't. This is the first time that I did a backup on the pendant, and it came out without it. So just one thing to keep in mind. Also notice on the right side here, the LAN section, it's just the LAN by its own. Right here on the other one, it shows that pesky number 3 that for some reason gets in there and messed up everything. So it's just one thing to keep in mind when doing the upgrades for the robot wear on the controllers. Things like this probably will happen down the road whenever we do updates on this. So just one thing to keep in mind. Both files are the same when you do the backups. Sometimes it saves them as a zip file and you have to extract them, and then you can have access to them. Sometimes it just saves them as a, not as a zip, but just a regular file. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Let's continue with this. Let's check the cameras. Make sure the cameras are working, or the camera, it's just only one. Right click on it, and right now that I see that there's no, oh, there is, it's active now. So hopefully we'll get an image. Yep, well, that was the last a month ago image, so I'm gonna try to get a new one. Yep, that works. Yep, camera's working. So we'll just close that. We go back to controller. We head to installation manager. Oh, forget that. Click on the little arrow of the installation manager so you can have this menu. Select installation manager 6. And we go to this page. Just highlight this thing, click open. It takes a couple of seconds to load. Say loading. Once you get that with a number, click next. And this is the current version of the RobotWare. It's 6.09.00.1. So we're gonna replace it. This is the most current one, but I did have an issue with the cameras going bad, so we're gonna go with the one below, that 611.02. Now that also gives us the issue with the cameras. The cameras are probably gonna go away once we finish the upgrade, so we're gonna have to do a bunch of Mickey Mouse in there, diagnostics and all that. So we click OK, click next, click next again, next again, then apply. And right now it's asking to revoke the write permission on the pendant. So just go to the pendant, click the revoke, I think it's, yep. Click OK on this, then apply, and then it's going to ask you to give permission. So grant permission again on the flex pendant. Alright, once you grant permission on the flex pendant, you'll get this box. Just click yes. And it's gonna take about I'll say about 20 minutes. It's gonna get stuck around here in this area, but do not do or click anything on the flex pendant. You're gonna see a bunch of menus saying a couple buttons in there, like 4 buttons that says install system or select system, and a couple others that I can remember. But don't do anything on the pendant. Everything is gonna be done automatically. It's gonna get stuck around here for like 8 minutes. Just let it there until you see a pop-up box saying that the system has been installed successfully. So I'll see you in 20 something minutes. Okay, the system has finishing loading the new upgraded system. You're gonna get this box, and on your pendant you're gonna have 4 buttons that says install system, settings, select system, and restart controller. Don't push any of that. All you gotta do is click on this yes, and right now the controller is restarting. You got a black screen on the pendant. You can close this out over here. You can also close this RobotWare or Robot Studio, sorry, and restart it again so it's kind of fresh when the system comes up. I'll be back when the system restores. Now, if for whatever reason, and this happened to me once, if for whatever reason it takes too long, or you think it's taking too long, and you stop the process or of updating the system and whatever, the controller it's not going to load the operating system. You're gonna have a message that, or just the green or blue progress bar down here on the bottom of the screen of the pendant, and it's just gonna get stuck saying loading OS, loading operating system. So if that ever happens, all you gotta do is do what you see over here on this video. You press the stop button on the bottom, and you press the number 1 button here for the your handler. When you do that, you reset the whole thing and you force the system to reload the operating system back into the controller. Once that one is done, it just loads like it normally does. You may have the fully updated system, or you may have to reinstall the system or go back to the old one and then back to the new one again. So if that ever happens, all you gotta do is press these two buttons until the system flashes. Now, once the system completely installs, I'm still waiting for the controller to load. You're gonna see me going back and forth with the camera uh, settings. We're gonna be looking into the SIO file right here, this guy, and I'm gonna be modifying just the app line that goes between the Ethernet port and this number thing here. So this one doesn't have it. This is the backup that I created. It did not came out with the camera thing. But you're gonna see me going back and forth, and shutting down the controller manually, turning the power off. We have to do that because these computers are Windows based. I believe it's Windows CE what's installed on these controllers or dependent. So we need to do that in order to refresh things in there. We're gonna be getting rid of this number 3 here, and we'll go from there. It's not gonna be a one-shot thing. We're gonna have to go multiple times sometimes, so just bear with me. Okay, the controller just came back in. We log into the Robot Studio. It's back online. Request write access. There. Now you already noticed that we lost the cameras. Okay, the vision system is not active. You can press over here, but it's not gonna do anything because you don't have that little arrow that goes here. So, and that's because we don't have that camera deal here that I was just showing you a minute ago. So we're gonna put that in. I'm gonna close this up and put it this way here. And I'm gonna open up one of these backups. Just the last one. I'm just gonna copy that file, that piece of the file right there, the piece of code. So this is what we need. Just that. That's all it is. Copy that. Close that. We don't need it anymore. Open this up. Get in there. Click enter so you get a space. Paste. And I'm gonna go get this MAC number from the camera because this is from another robot. So I'll be back. So I got this. Actually, this is the same robot that I'm doing right now. This is from the backup file that I did through the pendant. So it came out with all these with its own MAC numbers and passwords. So I'm gonna copy and paste it onto the new one, and just I'm just gonna load this one as is from there and see what happens. Don't save, I don't need it. So let's try this little experiment. Controller. Not that. Okay. So I'm gonna go to USB drive, systems power, site, and I'm just gonna load that. That's this. See what happens. Click OK, and you're gonna click restart. You want to do this restart warm start. Okay, you don't want any of this right now, so just this. Click OK, and the controller is gonna restart in a second. And I'm going to close this so we can start with a fresh system. So just close that, and I'll be back in like a minute once the controller restarts. Okay, the controller is up. I'm restarting uh, Robot Studio. Controller is there. Request write access. Click accept. And now you see that we have that little arrow, so hopefully it's going to work. Click integrated vision. Now we did that. Right click, connect. It looks like it's going to work. Yep. Oh, this was easier than the other ones. Oh. It should be able to get an image. That seems to work fine. Yep, that's working. Alright, so once we have this done, we do want to update the camera firmware. So you want to right click on the camera, click advanced, or just hover over the advanced, and then click update firmware. Click yes on that. This one is an old firmware, it's 4.1002. This is the newer. So we're just gonna click update. And it usually takes about a minute. So I'll be back when the update is done. Okay, the firmware update just finished. So we got both of them the same, 4.10.05. If you refresh, it's gonna try to look for an update, but it's not, it's the same. So we just hit close, and that's pretty much it. There's really nothing else to do or try on the system. We can just reconnect again and make sure we're getting an image. Hopefully that's a good one. Yep. Yep. So camera still works. So that's pretty much it. See you in the next video. One thing I forgot to mention though is always create a backup of the new system once you got it updated and all that. You know, just so you're on the safe side in case something else happens later on. Just we'll create a backup there. And usually I've been naming them just working. You can put whatever name you want, but just so I see this. That's that. Alright, so just double check the backup file. Make sure everything looks correct there. Yep, you got your password, you got your MAC address, and that's on the working system. So once you get that, I'll put it on along with all the backups that I have. Should have 10. Yep, that's all there. Alright, see you next time.